And we'll go to our panel discussion with all our speakers. So everybody, all the speakers have the floor, and you can also ask questions.
Melanie, should I ask a question or should I answer a question? Maybe the people, yeah.
Where's the other microphone?
Who wants to? Okay. So, okay. You go.
Angela from Italy. First of all, thank you for your organization and thank you to be here and to speak for us also. My question is this. I'm asking myself if we, targeted individuals, have something in common. I see that everyone is different, different nationalities, young, old people, rich, poor, educated, non-educated. But I think there must be something that we have in common and we are chosen to be targeted. Because it's not a random choice, a random, just, oh, let's take this is a woman by herself, this is, or maybe 20 years ago he was a political activist. Could it be that we have something that we don't know in our DNA, in our blood, I don't know, maybe something spiritual, something very weird that we don't think about it? Maybe some of you has some statistic or is making some research about this.
Yes, well, I think there are certainly a number of people here who know exactly why they're targeted. I know why I'm targeted. Other people know you just have been in contact, you were at the wrong time, at the wrong place, you heard something you shouldn't have heard. So, besides that, I think many people are randomly targeted, totally random targeted, because this also makes it more unbelievable that this is happening. So, if we all would have the same IQ, for example, then it would be easy. If we all have the same blood type, then it would be easy. But because we're all different, well, you need to test on all kinds of people, so that's why we're all different, I think. Yeah. But what we all have in common here is that we all are survivors. I mean, there are thousands of people who are not here anymore. And we are the ones that survived and understood this problem and even got to Brussels at a certain time now.
I also thought a lot about it. I couldn't figure out anything besides special destinies like yours. But in Sweden we have something interesting. There are astonishingly a lot of people from the part Solna, it is in northern Stockholm, which are targeted individuals, and who was situated in Solna, the Caroline Institute, giving the Nobel Prize in Medicine, and they are leading in the research and development of mind control technology. And there one could think they take people close to the hospital. So that could be one point.
Yeah, of the other speakers want to reply to this question, or should I go to the next one?
If the ambition is to control the whole world population, then all different kinds of people will need to be controlled. The same methods that work to control one person might not work for another. Therefore, all kinds of people need to be experimented on in order to develop methods for controlling them. Secondly, if we make a guess here and now, we take a vote on it and say, yeah, we all think that's right, this is what we've got in common, we haven't got a method to test that hypothesis. So it's probably premature to make that kind of guess. A hypothesis you can't think of a way of testing isn't helpful.
Okay, next question. Yeah, Erica?
Thank you very much. I am Erika, and I would like to ask a question, Dr. Rauni, please. When you talk about developing this protection energy from the universe, which I developed also, when you make your meditation, you concentrate your mind, what kind of thinking?
I'm not sure that I heard you.
Maybe I can approach, that the better way to be heard. So, when you talk about, to develop protection, universal energy protection, and which I developed also, when you make your meditation to create this energy bigger, your mind, you direct into what kind of thinking? What do you think? When you develop this power of energy?
I don't think. I empty my brain, I empty my thoughts, and I feel that I am part of the universe. Just like a drop in the ocean doesn't realize that it is part of everything or it's individual. But you can imagine a round energy field around you, so you're in the bubble. And the more you sort of get out of your physical body thinking, you don't need to get out of body, but thinking of the everyday things, the faster you sort of get up. But the thing is, it took me personally 3 years, once a week, to meditate and to be in a group until I started, I became an automatic writer and had contact with the dead relatives and contact with ETs and all. It just burst out. But what actually we are dealing with the transformation of the human race. And when the previous person asked about, if there's something in common, well, what is the human race? It's all of us, and we're all different. So of course we are all experimented on. And this is state crime, state criminality on the highest level of the governance, experimenting on their own people. Because, like I mentioned before, 85% at least of the world population has to be eliminated by this elite. So what we can do, we really can with our energy, because we are energy. And as we know, the energy only changes form, said Einstein, it doesn't disappear. And when we start using the energy, we maybe, I hope anyway, we will not be robotized, even with the implants. And implants or microchips are not necessary to robotize us. It's the frequencies that they're sending to us in our homes, in this room, all over the world, from Moon, Mars, satellites. And we are actually fighting like a situation like David and Goliath. And you could think that it's impossible that we could win. But remember, David did win the Goliath. So I hope that we can all agree that, like I said before, every day, at least a minute or 5 or more, we concentrate and we put ourselves into the bubble.
And then it leads me another question. If we are thousands of us, it can be better, do you think?
1,000?
Yeah,
Of course, if you have one candle,
yeah,
it lights,
yeah.
right? But if you have 1,000 candles, the darkness goes. And that's why we should, right here for instance, decide what are we going to focus on. What all these people who are here now,
Yeah.
what will we focus on once a day? And I would suggest world peace and harmony.
So what we need to do is, create a force of human union to be heard by the government. That's what we need to do then.
The governments, I would say, just drop them.
I mean, we need to create human force. I mean, more human involved into our, association or this kind of conference. Then better it will be heard. That's what we need to do.
We need a revolution for this planet.
Yes.
A revolution which is done with the energies.
So that is, people who are staying behind this situation, being in the same situation, but they're staying because of fear, then they can join us, then it can be heard. That's right?
Anybody can join us.
Yes.
We are very telepathic.
Mm.
And in Russia they had a very interesting congress about UFOs, and can you imagine, that was in the Soviet time. And of course Soviet was atheistic. And the professors presenting in a UFO conference were stating, I was flabbergasted. First of all, one of them said that we all have lived before on other planets. Now we're here, and we have some memories that sometimes pop up, that we have experienced something before. We are actually multidimensional. And the most surprising of that conference was the spirituality that was presented in a Soviet, anti-Soviet conference. And they said that we are not ashamed to talk about the energy as God. Think of it. God is a vibrational frequency, a vibrational energy. And I think that's wonderful.
Thank you very much. And also, I want to give, I'm so thankful for each one of us, and each of you. One of you to come here to give this outstanding conference. Thank you very much.
Right, so another question.
Edouard from Sweden, Stockholm. My question, I would like to know if some plant can attract some chemical. Because in my case, it's a chemical. I don't know what kind of product they put in my room and all my friends' room. But it's only me who feel it. My friend who live in the room, but don't feel it. And me, I feel it like I'm dying. So I have to run out after 20 minutes. And when I go out, it's like I have shaved myself, and I put after shave, or I put gas lacrimogene on my body. All my body is burning. And my friend, we don't feel anything in the apartment. It's only me. It's the chips I have on my body who attack this product. I don't know what kind of product. Some people tell me that it can be carbon tetrachloride or mercurium. I don't know anything. I'm totally ignorant. So I would like to know if some implant can attract chemical.
Who would like to reply to this?
My experience is that they give you the impression it's not really happening. They can induce these feelings without being a reality. So take the homeopathic dose, perhaps it gets better.
Can I continue this idea? Because
Yes.
I'm sorry for my English, but I'm trying to explain about chemistry because in my country there's a problem for the victims they're working with microwaves and with chemistry too. And some people who's victims in Russia, they do some tests, and I can say that chemistry existing, and it's a part of this electronic weapon, because waves working better if they use that kind of chemistry which helps. It's kind of electro-provide, or I don't know how to explain in English, but it's possible to make higher tests and find out which kind of chemistry they use.
Okay, another question?
We spent here such a long time, but it never been says about the agenda of our union here, what we are trying to achieve. So far, everybody talk about itself, some kind of answer, but we have to go somewhere from this point. I mean, maybe sign some competition, place on the internet, involve some other people, and we have to raise our voices. We're, how many? Here, 100, 200, it doesn't matter, but everybody have to know about this meeting, and we have to place it on the internet, and we want to make sure that United Nations and human rights and all that crap, if you met in the Geneva, you know, they do nothing. They sit in American businesses and been fed by American money, and nothing, see? I mean, it's nice to hear, I've been operated, I have a whole bunch of implants, yes, and everybody, physicians walk away from me because they're afraid what they're going to lose job, they devastate their families, and so on. But really, we have to actually do something positive from what we have.
Would like to comment on this or reply to this?
I have spent 10 years not knowing what the agenda is. I think one thing worth looking at is the anti-harassment legislation that most countries we are likely to come into contact with already have in place. If you notice that legislation is often cloned, look how quickly same-sex marriage was introduced all over the place, as though there was some force behind it coordinating that. And it's the same with harassment legislation, and there is the possibility that the loophole that exists in British law may exist in your local anti-harassment legislation, that they forgot to say it couldn't be used against one of these three-letter agencies, like the FBI and the CIA and MI5 and so on and so forth. So that's worth looking into locally. I'll also say about the heating, if you look at bioeffects of selected non-lethal weapons, just Google that phrase, you will find a report, it's all over the place, I put it up first. And that tells you that the way in which your body is heated isn't by actually heating it, putting enough energy in it to heat it, it's by modulating the signal in such a way that it interferes with your own body's isothermy that keeps your temperature right, so that you don't sweat enough, you don't lose enough heat, you overheat that way. So it's not going to harm you.
That's exactly what the question is raised. The question is raised, you know, what we're all together here, and he can come home, you know, email a few of his friends, you know, and somebody else, you know, we have to get bigger. Many people, they even don't know what they planted. Many people have no idea what's in mind control. I mean, that's so small amount, but they actually do it planting. So what I'm saying, you know, we have to cooperate all together, you know, and move forward towards this United Nations or wherever, and be very persistent. We would like to all world know about this, what they do to children in public hospitals. Psychopaths, people are mentally crazy. and what they do to other people. And the whole world is supposed to know about this. That's what my question was.
Okay.
Okay, so in the beginning, Stopek was just supporting single victims, and then in 2013. But you've been thinking of what you can do about this problem, and so in 2013 I started to do these meetings, real people meeting each other. And I think it's very, very important that we as victims meet. And this is the people in Europe who meet. Most people are from Europe. And I hope this also will encourage, because there are much more victims, and there are people who know, and people who talk about it. And I'm sure that because of, for example, these meetings are taking place, other people are also now willing to come out and talk about this. I know from the meetings in the Netherlands that there were people who knew there were these meetings, but they only came after the 5th or 6th meetings. Before that time, they didn't dare to come. Yeah. So I hope the group will grow bigger. But in the meantime, on the website of the TI event, there should be a harassment forum as a start, what we all can do together. Unfortunately, it wasn't completed, but it will be completed and it will be online soon. And that will be that we as a group go to the European Parliament and tell them this is our problem, solve it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. There was Jennifer Babu, I think, who raised his hand already for a long time.
Ich habe eine Frage gestellt.
You would like to speak in French. Does anybody understand French? Henry does, okay.
Moi, je suis harcelé en France depuis 7 années, un harcèlement qui est horrible, et donc j'ai cherché pourquoi j'étais harcelé. J'ai fait une recherche donc auprès du ministère de l'Intérieur, et j'ai vu que je faisais partie d'une liste noire. Donc je leur ai demandé pourquoi une liste noire, et ils m'ont dit c'est secret défense. Donc j'ai entrepris une opération judiciaire, et j'ai saisi le juge administratif qui a demandé au ministre de l'Intérieur de lui remettre le fichier et les informations me concernant. Il lui a donné 2 mois. Or, le ministre de l'Intérieur ne veut pas répondre. Pendant ce temps-là, je me fais attaquer, je me fais assassiner, et on peut le voir sur mon site, citoyen ciblé, grave violation des droits de l'homme. J'ai des images horribles, horribles, horribles. Alors, comment faire? Est-ce que maintenant, dès lors où le ministre de l'Intérieur ne veut pas répondre, alors que le juge lui demande le fichier, lui demande, je ne suis ni terroriste ni espion, donc je suis fonctionnaire de l'éducation nationale, et j'ai été très bien noté, et je me retrouve finalement dans cette situation. Quand le juge lui demande de lui donner ce fichier, ordonne de lui donner ce fichier, il ne veut pas le donner, qu'est-ce que je dois faire? Pendant ce temps-là, moi je suis en train de me faire assassiner.
Mon expérience est que tous les juges et tous les autres dans l'administration aussi sont victimes du mind control. Et c'est pourquoi vous ne pouvez pas recevoir quelque chose de positif. Ne prends pas ce chemin. Ce chemin, c'est protecter vous-même, protecter avec cette loi homéopathique. Tous les autres chemins ne travaillent pas.
More questions? Mayim, who came from Malaysia, so for a long way.
I'm from Malaysia. Since Dr. Rauni did mention about revolution against this sort of torture, I propose we should go and demonstrate in any country which organizes. We should bravely willing to die for it and demonstrate any country leaders who are funding $100 million, telling you like Russia is funding $100 million on mind control. We must go all in the Russian embassy or go to Moscow, demonstrate in front of them. Thank you.
So I'm responding also to this question and this remark. I'm fighting now for, let's say, 2 years against chemtrails, doing manifestations, etc. I've made a lot of publicity, a lot of people are interested to come, and finally, on the manifestation itself, 70 people appears. With 70 people, you cannot manage the team. If there are 2,000 or 3,000 people coming up, then you have the attention of the press and the media. So we have a lot to do to have a big group coming up demonstrating in the streets.
I thank you, Anna Maria from Greece and Paris. I want to say that all of us, we can be all together, and we have to invite everyone who suffers to be with us. And we have to start actions. We have to protest in courts and on the street. It's the only way. If not, we shall be only talking, thinking, and that's all. Thank you.
I live in London, in a borough called Camden. There's a Camden in the USA. We have the highest rate of suicide because the London University pharmaceutical companies are doing experiments. And everybody is compliant. The lawyers, the doctors, the solicitors, the universities, and nobody cares. The suicides I've witnessed, they're blanking cover, they're using drugs now, psychiatric victims, targeted individuals, death by unknown causes. These drugs are coming from America. They're getting away with corporate manslaughter and nobody cares. I point my hand at John. I'm sorry. We need to stand up, we need to work together.
Sie sagte ja, wir brauchen eine Revolution.
Okay, Dr. Rauni Kilde said we need a revolution.
Die Frage ist, wer macht diese Revolution?
Wer macht was?
Wer macht diese Revolution? Wer soll das machen? Who should do this revolution?
Your
These
mind.
people, these targeted people who are ill, their health is gone. They're tortured. There is in 24 hours synthetical voices. Sie werden psychisch angetrieben, angepeitscht. Diese Menschen leben am Rande der Existenz, finanziell. Hat man ihnen alles genommen. Ja? Es sind dabei intellektuelle Menschen. Es sind dabei normale Menschen, Handwerker. Ja? Diese Menschen hier kommen mit großen Erwartungen
Maybe I
hierher.
should translate for the
Yeah.
audience. Okay, she says that people are tortured, people have lost their health, they have lost their finances, and also she says that there are people from all walks of life. So you've got intellectual people, you've got working people, handymen. So she's asking Rauni what she thinks, who should do this revolution?
All of us. Revolution, all of us. Unite all of us.
But how many we are? We are maybe 100,000, 500,000, 1 million.
Look at
And
Square.
Who is our enemy?
Tenement Square, they got together.
Yes.
The students in Hong Kong,
Yes.
they got together.
I'm with you.
And in Poland, they got together.
Yes, I'm with you. We should go, of course. I'm with you, and I will go always with you. But just if we can start with this, but it's not enough. I think it's not enough. And this, what we are doing here, is also not enough. Because these people need money, these people need medical care, these people need work. They need someone who will scan them and take them off this foreign system. Do you have any system? Dmitry Iskov from Russia have these systems. In Initiation 2045 is a Russian initiative. He's a milliardaire and he is investing a lot of money with other millionaires in these technologies, and he's publishing these technologies which have DARPA, the United States, developed also. It's a base of his technologies. A new area of thinking, he is calling it. A new age of humanity, transhumanism. The connection between human and computer or artifactic intelligence, digital brains. He uploaded all his digital informations on a digital blue brain, and he's publicated. What we are waiting for, if I'm calling the German police, they say I'm crazy or this is not possible. They are ignoring science, Gesetze, wissenschaftliche Gesetze, science. They are ignoring this, what they are publishing. Yes, and what we are waiting for, what should happen? These people are dying. There are a lot of people being killed, and nobody cares about that. There are women living on the street. They have no homes. They have no money. And so we have to ask, who can help us, and what should we do?
We have understood.
We have We have to help ourselves.
No.
Because nobody else is going to help us. No institute, no government, because we are under the government. And these are government crimes. Crimes against humanity. And it's on the very highest level in every single country. You can go up to the Prime Minister or the President, and they are behind false flag operations. So what can we do? First of all, it's awareness. Talk about it to anybody. And people who are not victims, they will not listen, and they don't want to listen because they're afraid. Because if they listen, they know that maybe they become victims. So they just deny everything. But we have to, because one thing that helps us, I think, we know there's no death. We have an energy body. And that keeps us going. If it doesn't keep you going, it keeps me going. Because you know you cannot die. And that's why you cannot be afraid.
I am Christian, and I have just one life. And I want my life
back. That's all right. Have one life
back. I want my life back.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't help you.
I'm a Christian. I believe in one life, and I want my life back.
Rauni is not a guy.
Questions because we have to come to a close.
No.
Okay, I came from United States of America, but originally I came from Russia. I am immigrant to America. We lived in America for 37 years. We succeeded first, we make money, we've been very good people. But we didn't know we've been implanted with microchip devices. Now, since 1991, my husband, sitting next to me, suffered so much. We didn't know what to do. If he's dying, if he's deteriorating, what's going to happen? I'm going to lose him. So we've been fighting since 1991. President Obama invited us to bioetic commission. It was date on year 2011 on May 18th. We had a speech. They didn't want us to speak, but commission was sitting, knowing everything, every little details of our life, of our suffering. My husband said, how about not me. I needed to speak, but they always been pushing me away. For the end of the commission, he stood up and he said, I want to talk, and they let him to talk for 1.5 minutes. So we're suffering so much. We left 2 beautiful children back in America, okay? And they both carrying implants since they were 4 years old. 4 years old. And they suffering so much. Since then, now they are 36 years old and 38 years old. They're afraid to talk. They're afraid to say they are implanted because the people around gonna tell them, oh my God, you're crazy. But my question is, what we are doing when we get together? We just talking, because we talk already in 2011, we talk. Commission was talking, we all left home. Nothing happened. We need a revolution. I am agree for that. We need a revolution. We get together, all of us, and go for demonstration, go with the flags, go with vehicles, and put the placards everywhere. That's what we need to do. That's what we are here now. I came from San Francisco area. This is too far to travel. Believe me, we spend a lot of money, but we're traveling all over the Europe right now, spreading all news. What Americans implanting humans. Not only Americans, everybody. All countries. Thank you.
One more question from Luc.
It's not a question, it's a proposition. Everybody who is here can send eventually his IDs to the panel, who received all the information, and then we can rediscuss all the propositions who are made, which are really feasible. Because we can imagine revolutions. Spartacus also imagined a revolution. He succeeded until he was betrayed. And even Leonidas was betrayed. We can all make revolutions, we can win battles, but we have to be also aware that more people coming in, more infiltration will be there, and we will be killed also. So we must make a revolution, but it must be done really with awareness who is coming on, that there is no fake, there is no infiltration, etc., etc. So it will take time.
I just wanted to sympathize or commiserate with, or the lady over here who says she wants her life back. Yeah, we all do. It's so tragic what is the human toll that this horrible weapon system is taking, and nobody can see the evidence, and so you can't, it's almost like I would rather be in prison, because then everybody knows you're in prison, and they can say, oh, you poor person, you're in prison. But here you have a very insidious, terrible thing that's happening. And what I would just want to say, there's I can't remember the name of the author who said first they came for the Jews, and then next they came for,
that was Paul Newman, that was...
if somebody could repeat that, to me that gives me so much hope. And I work with community organizing in Chicago, in the civil rights community. And, there's people in my community, the white community, who are asking, why should I care? And that's the reason that we should all care, because if 85% of the population were really going to be on a list to be obliterated, well, it's not just the people in this room. Everybody needs to care about this. So it's how do we reach people in such a way, and this is where I'm trying to work in journalism and community organizing in order to say the story so that it's not considered unbelievable, even though the things that are happening are truly unbelievable. And I think brainstorming on how to do that is in order.
Yeah, I think that's very important. Tonight we're going to do more of this, and we're also going to try to find some concrete steps we can take. So 2 more, and then we have to come to a close. So Oh yeah, the lady was already.
Yeah, talking about concrete steps. Just two small points. First of all, I didn't see any financial information. I think for people to have trust, I think financial information needs to be included from the beginning when we're doing stuff, so people know where everything's coming from. And then secondly, I was reading the explanation about the first page of the explanation on electromagnetic weapons, and it was talking about the closing down of the nuclear destruction project and how this has taken over from that. Okay, there's a very, very wealthy organisation, it's called CND, which has bequests and legacies and everything, and they are doing absolutely nothing now as far as I can tell. I think we should go straight to them because we are their inheritors. And I think that should be one of the first things that we could do. And they have also this reputation and experience, and they've all got awards and OBEs and what have you. And I think we should definitely sort of try and get them to see, you know, you thought you banned the bomb, but actually this is now the bomb, and we still need that help, and we need all that money you've got sitting in a bank doing nothing.
Okay, thank you. One last, so difficult to, but I think the gentleman here, you were already trying to pose the question for a long time. So. Last one.
I just have to do more. First of all, I think it's a very good move that people come together here to get awareness about problems. I would like to mention that abuse of people on the medical field actually is something that is going already on since the 18th century. Before it were psychiatric patients and people held in prison being abused or taken away from the street. And this actually, cynically to speak, is just a new form of abuse. And I think to fight this back is to do research and try to bring up the case. And likewise, join each other's expertise, help each other to think, and most of all, be rational in your research about what is going on and bring it up. Thank you for your very good.
Thank you for all of these questions and also for our speakers. So we'll some final remarks maybe from the speakers, and then we'll close the event. Who wants to say some final words? John?
I've had a lot of emails from people that have told a sad story, sometimes which is quite confusing, and they finished with the words, "Help me." And when I reply, I say, "How would you like me to help you?" And they seldom know. We're in a situation where we are not seeking that government should repent of something that it is public knowledge that they are doing. We're in the situation where we require government to admit in the first place that they're doing something. Regarding the idea of demonstrations, we had demonstrations of millions of people saying, "Don't attack Iraq." And the government took no notice. In France, they have had massive demonstrations by Le Manif pour Tout against same-sex marriage, which many French people find very offensive, and there was no response whatsoever except to send in effectively soldiers against civilians, men, women and children. I have spent 10 years learning what doesn't work and doing the little that I can at what does work. And you're welcome to email me about that, and you can read about that. Dying, there is no death, we have an energy body, is a religious idea, and therefore if we have one religious idea, I think it's appropriate that we should admit what we might call religious ideas into the discussion, because unless you have some inner strength, you will crumple. If you take a can of air, and they do sell them in novelty shops, and tie it to a stone and drop it in the ocean, it will be crushed. But if you open it, it will not be crushed, because the pressure on the outside will be equalised by some pressure from the inside pushing out. And finally, to the Christian lady, I would say, to the Christian lady, Madam, Mademoiselle,
Yes.
the new life that you have in the Lord Jesus Christ as a Christian, you've still got it. You've still got it. Your old life, which you want back,
My God, give me my life, but no human being has to from me.
they have no right to do that. They have no right to take it. But they have done that.
And there are sinners.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they
And
are.
our God also knows how to do with sinners.
Yes.
Yes. Our Christianity God know how to do with sinners.
Yes.
And He wouldn't allow that we will all die. He wouldn't. And there will be the right man and woman who will do the right things in this world.
Praise God, I believe so.
And we are all responsible.
I am
to
full
do
of,
the
I am
same
full of
for us.
hope. I am,
And that is that we help each other. Not to talk, to help each other. To really help each other. And there's so much. So viel Mangel, so viel Leid. There is so many pain. There is so many pain. Da ist so viel Leid, was diese Menschen hier jahrzehntelang erleben müssen. Das kann sich keiner vorstellen. Das kann sich keiner vorstellen. Und ich weiß nicht, ich könnte eigentlich nur weinen. I could cry. I could just cry. Cry. For all of us. Really.
What about Scientology Church?
And this is, no, Scientology is out. Scientology is this one.
So I'm sorry, but we need to close the event here, because we can still speak about these subjects later at the victims event. But now we have to come to a close. So I would like to thank everybody for coming here, for making the effort to come to our conference, and also particularly our speakers, of course. As Peter said before, this is the first of what will hopefully become an annual event, although I think, or hope at least, that this will not be necessary in a few weeks, because there's an enormous power in people coming together and having one goal and focusing on this goal. And I think there's a lot of things that we can change, and that this positive energy will set things in motion. I'm absolutely convinced of this. So I wanted to say one last thing.
One short word. That was a very important question about the Scientology Church. The Scientology Church is a secret CIA arm making mind control research and nothing else.
The Scientology is
Oh,
an
I see.
enemy of the United States Secret Service. And sie wurden angeklagt wegen Spionage. Und wenn Sie jetzt glauben, also die Scientologen waren die einzigen gegen die Psychiatrie, also ich muss jetzt noch mal was sagen. But we have very, very strong enemies. And one of these enemies is our governors, of course, the police, military, and the most strongest enemy is the du dumme Nuss. Das sind die Psychiater. Psychiatrische Kliniken und Psychiater. Und Scientology ist die einzige Gesellschaft, die es gewagt hat, mit Nina Hagen zusammen, ja, denen auch ganz klar zu sagen, wo die menschlichen Regeln eingehalten werden müssen. Scientology and Nina Hagen are the one, or the both, who said that there are human rights in the psychology clinics. Yes? And every one of us, jeder von uns, läuft Gefahr, dass als psychisch krank stigmatisiert wird. That he will be stigmatized as psychical ill, and there is no illness. And we don't have to forget this. And so, Scientology is not my enemy. Not my enemy. My enemy is the United States of America. My enemy is everyone who just doesn't hear about this and who say that this doesn't exist. And my enemy are the psychiatrists, the science, all the science, neurological science. These are my enemies because their researchers are used to do this with me.
Okay, some closing words. Thank you all for coming. I'm really grateful. Speakers, I can't thank you all enough. It's been a wonderful experience. I know there's a lot of pain, etc. So this is not really a happy event. There's not really a happy ending at this moment. But I hope that this conference will be a next step. Maybe some more exposure. Maybe some wonderful ideas. Maybe more connecting of people. More energy, maybe that we have all together to find solutions for the problems we're facing. That's what I want to say.